Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you a SALAMANGREAT deck profile. As you're gonna see, it has a lot of hand traps, a lot of interruptions to well, make sure that your opponent cannot do a lot, and yeah, just a really good deck. I think it can do something in today's meta. So without further ado, let's get right into this. I chose to go with 2 copies of Flame Buffalo and 2 copies of Lady Debug. I'm not sure which one I like best, so I'm just running 2 and 2, but you can either run 3 Buffalo or 3 Lady Debug. It's all up to you. And then as an extender, I've also got 1 copy of Sea Archiver. Now onto the SALAMANGREAT monsters themselves. I am running 2 copies of Jaguar, 2 copies of SALAMANGREAT Foxy, 2 copies of Spinny, 1 copy of Falco, and then 1 copy of Gazelle. You can play around with these ratios as well. If you like to run 3 Spinny or 3 Foxy, you can just take out some of the hand traps we're running, but I prefer to run a lot of hand traps in this build, which I'm coming to next. I am running 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, 2 copies of Effect Failure, 2 copies of Ghost Bell, and then lastly 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So as you can see, a lot. There are 15 hand traps in this deck, which is more than some decks can play around. So that is really crazy. Now onto the spells. We of course have 1 SALAMANGREAT Circle, 1 copy of Will of the SALAMANGREAT, and then of course 1 SALAMANGREAT Sanctuary. Yeah, I think this is all you need to run for the SALAMANGREAT spells. Now onto some draw power. 3 copies of Pot of Desires, along with 3 copies of Silent Mining. That's it for the spells. Now onto the traps. You got, of course, your Omni Negate, SALAMANGREAT Roar, 1 copy of Rage, and then lastly a single copy of Imperial Order. And that rounds out a 40 card main deck. Now onto the extra deck. Starting off with, of course, 3 copies of SALAMANGREAT Balinx, 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf, and then 2 copies of Heat Leo, along with a single copy of SALAMANGREAT El Mirage. That's it for the SALAMANGREAT Link monsters. Now onto some generic links. Of course, 1 update jammer. You can make an X-Code Talker that can attack twice, so that is really nice. 1 Splash Mage, 1 Transcode Talker, and then of course a single copy of Access Code Talker, rounding out the Link monsters. And then for our last final 2 monsters, 1 copy of Baguska, and then of course a single copy of Mirage Stalio. Alright, now onto a combo. The end board for SALAMANGREAT combos is basically the same for every combo out there, so I'm only going to show you 1 single combo you can do with Silent Mining and your SALAMANGREAT Spinny. So what you want to do is activate Mining, discard the Spinny to add the Gazelle from your deck to your hand. Because Spinny is sent to the graveyard, you can immediately special summon your Gazelle, triggering his effect to send from your deck to your graveyard the SALAMANGREAT Roar. Now you can activate the Spinny in graveyard to special summon him, and then immediately with Spinny and your Gazelle go into your Mirage Stalio. Now activate Mirage Stalio, detaching the Gazelle to special summon your Jaguar from your deck to your hand, from your deck to your field, then immediately link off that Jaguar for a copy of Balings. Now Balings will trigger adding the Sanctuary to your hand. You can activate this, and then you're going to link off your Balings and your Mirage Telio into a copy of Sunlight Wolf. Now what will happen, you can trigger the effect of Jaguar, special summon him into the zone your Sunlight Wolf points to, by shuffling your Mirage Telio back into your extra deck, and then the effect of Sunlight Wolf will trigger to add your Gazelle back to your hand. Now you can link your Jaguar off into a Balings again, and then because Sanctuary is on the field, you can second summon your Sunlight Wolf into another zone, and then use his effect in order to get your Roar back into your hand from the graveyard. Now you can set the Roar. You have your protection in graveyard because you have Balings. And of course, when another monster gets special summoned into this zone, you get to add one back to your hand again. You have an Omni Negate on the field. So yeah, I think this is really powerful, and best case you still have like 3 Handtraps in your hand. So that's it for this combo. Hope to see you guys in the next one.